Welcome to John Swift Live. I'm John, of course, and today I'm trying out a new segment that's called Tales from TV Land. This is something I just thought up. About 15 years ago, I used to be a news reporter for a local TV station, and I used to cover all kinds of stuff, with my video camera, all kinds of weird fires and police chases and shootings and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So today I was going to talk to you about a story that actually happened right here behind me, right where these steps are. Come on, let's go take a look. I was on doing a story already. I think it was about 11 o'clock a.m. and Jeff and I were doing a story. I think it was on the Memorial Hospital, which is actually this way, about a mile or so. And we got a call from the news desk, and they said that there was a fire near Main Street, I think Osprey. So we jumped in the truck. I think we were driving the live truck already. And so we jumped in the live truck and speed over here to this street right here. And that's when I think we parked across the street. I think there used to be a lot actually right here in this general area behind me. There used to be a big open lot where that building is. So I think we parked the truck over there. We come over here, this whole, where there was a house right here, was on fire. And these trees weren't grown in there because this was about 15 years ago. So I jump out of the truck, I grab my ginormous news camera, and I start shooting. And usually your adrenaline gets pumping when something like that happens. You know, you jump out of the truck, just start shooting, you know. And I can't remember if the fire department was here right at that time, because we usually would get calls just as the fire department would be dispatched for calls and things like that. So anyway, we rushed over here. This house was on fire. It was right here. You can see the steps to the house leading up to the house. And what had happened actually was right in this part of the yard right here, right in this part down here, there was actually a propane tank, a big propane tank, like a 50-gallon tank. I think it was for a propane heater or something like that. And so what had happened was some guys were doing construction right here, right in front of the house, doing some construction, I think with one of those backhoes, and they were digging this up. And I think they poked a hole in the tank, and it started leaking, and then somehow it made a spark, and then there was a huge explosion. And from what we interviewed people, you can see there's buildings all down here. There's huge office buildings, there's a bank over there, all kinds of, this wasn't there actually, these buildings weren't there, but anyway. And there's actually a building right here. And when it exploded, apparently this building right here behind me, or right here, you could see it's got all windows in it. Windows here, and on the opposite side, there's actually a ton of windows over here. When that exploded, those windows all shattered. Let's see if I can get a better shot. All these windows were broken. Those are big windows. And so here's actually where the house was, right here where these trees are. And it was crazy. Of course, my blood is pumping. I'm shooting. You know, when you're in the news business, I guess, you always hope to get there right when something starts. If there's a fire or some kind of, explosion or any kind of exciting stuff, you want to get there right when it happens, of course. And this is one of the times that we actually got there right when it happened. And you can see there's a lot of trees here now where the house used to be. This is the sidewalk that led up to the, I think this is the sidewalk that went up to the back of the house. You can see it goes all the way up to the sidewalk. And I think the house is right where we're standing. And as we walk forward, these steps led right up to the front door where there was a porch. It was an old style house right here. So there was a porch right here. So we got here, I think, right around 11:15 in the afternoon. And it was cool because the noon news was actually coming up. Wow, that scared me. The noon news was actually coming up. And so we got the live truck started, put up the antenna, and we got all this great video. And then when the time for it was the 12 o'clock noon live shot, we actually went live while this place was burning. So if you could picture that, while this place is burning, okay? I have my camera set up over here. I think maybe I was across the street because there's probably a ton of fire department people here. And I was probably across the street over here. You can picture, oh, I forgot to mention Jeff Coyle I was with. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but I was with Jeff Coyle, who was a really good reporter. So we're sitting right here, and Jeff's sitting right here, and he's talking about the fire, which is the ultimate live shot going on. If you're ever, you know, if you ever watch the news, you always want something going on in the background. So he's here talking about the news, about the fire that happened, explosion. We didn't know that much because it was still actually burning. So we didn't, all we knew was we heard an explosion, or the people around here heard an explosion, and then this thing was on fire. And then, so here's the happy ending is that nobody was hurt. Nobody was hurt during the filming of this, actually. I mean, during the fire, actually. Nobody was actually hurt. There were some workers out here, and apparently the workers were toward the front, and I think as it exploded, the worker was actually running to the back of the house. The worker was actually running to the back of the house from the front, out the back, they said. And he, I don't believe, and somebody actually, a witness actually said that there was a big fireball chasing, because you can picture this, going through the house, you're running, and there's a fireball chasing you like something out of Die Hard, right? You're running out the back of the house. And this is probably about where the back of the house was. It wasn't that big of a house. So he runs out the back. As the house explodes, a fireball comes through, the thing's on fire. And I don't know exactly if he was completely okay, or if he had any bruises or anything. I'm going to try to look for file footage. I'm not sure if I'm going to find any, but anyway, I hope you still enjoyed the video anyway. We'll get a couple more shots of where this house actually used to be. There's the building next door, which is pretty much the same. They had replaced the windows there. I can't remember what kind of building it was. I think it was some kind of art gallery then. And then, of course, these trees have grown up a lot. So I wanted to show you that the original railing from that time is still actually here. The original railing here, and the original steps, and you can see it had like a little curb that went actually down to the front yard, and then there's some steps over here that went down the side of the house. It was kind of an old-fashioned house with a porch, probably pretty old. Nobody has built here. I don't know if these people bought this lot or not, but I hope you enjoyed that little story. I'll have some more stories, and hopefully I'm gonna have video from those stories that were the crazy blockbuster stories. I'm still tracking down video to see what I have. So I hope you enjoyed Tales from TV Land this week. Leave a comment if you liked it or you didn't like it. Let me know if I could do something different. Hopefully I'll be bringing some more stories to you. I think maybe I'll do this maybe once a week, I'm not sure. And so if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel. It's John Swift Live. And I'm also, I have t-shirts and stuff, so check that out. This is one of my t-shirts right here that I'm wearing. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot, and look for my new video. Next week I should be putting out a couple. And thanks for watching, guys. Thanks. One of the stories actually happened right here behind me. Let's go check it out. It's not like a chicken. Let's go check it out. This is an alternate ending. Anyway, pull my hat up a little bit.